Hey guys, it's Greg. In this video, I'm going to try to take care of a couple of things in this one video. I'm going to actually open up and give you a personal story of mine that still breaks my heart. So, um, yesterday wasn't a good day for that either. So, I have been sick, nauseated, and vomiting for about the past 4 days or so. Uh, 5 days, really more or less. I've been getting better the last day or so. Uh, I had to take my dad into the doctor to get a referral for his heart specialist midweek last week. And over the weekend, I got very sick and thought that I had just come back with a stomach virus. Vomiting, very nauseated. I had also had one of my maintenance medications. I don't know if any of you, well, I don't think I've shared this, but I have fibromyalgia. So I have some maintenance meds I have to take. And one of the medications that I do take, the pharmacist told me, and this just hit me a couple of days ago, that I remembered. She said that they had to give me a different manufacturer than what I normally take. So it's supposedly the same medication, just a different manufacturer. Well, evidently that's what the problem was, because the stomach virus thing, was what, 24 to 48 hour, and it wasn't getting any better. I wasn't getting any better. I was just getting worse. And I happen to remember her saying that it was a different manufacturer, and so I stopped taking the medication. I called the pharmacy and asked, and she said, the pharmacist told me that yes, it was a different manufacturer. Could be a different compound, could be the fillers that they use, for me to just stop taking it until they normally, when they give you something like that, it's because they're out of stock on the one that you normally take, the one they prefer to give you. So I was talking with Matt yesterday, and or last evening, and he said something about, well, that probably came from Tijuana. Thought, yeah, maybe. But yesterday with the shooting, it being Valentine's Day, um, I don't know what to call on this one. I know there supposedly was a drill being taking place at the same time, which is our cue to look at, hoax or whatnot. And I don't know. I'm not going to call this yet until more evidence surfaces, and there'll be people that do a lot more research into this. But I will tell you that I personally lost my fiance in 2016, July 24th. We had been together 3 years, and as of June 19th of 2017, we were to be married. That particular weekend, she was sick, and she I didn't hear from her for a little over 24 hours or so, and that was very unusual. So I went over to check on her, and sorry, I was the one to find her. So Um, if you feel like you have the flu, please don't take Robitussin with a D or an M or anything like that. If you take other medications, that's what it was. It was a fatal drug interaction with her. And what makes me so sick about the Chris Hurst, Allison Parker stuff is this is supposed to be the next day, and he's out doing this month anniversary smiling happy crap, and I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. I barely even really I actually I don't even remember the funeral. I was so distraught over losing her, and she just it dragged on for me because they didn't know what happened to her. It took blood tests, and I don't know if you've ever lost someone, and the coroners had to do blood tests or toxicology to find out what's happened to get that kind. It takes months to get that stuff back. So, and I mean, there was no red flags when they did the autopsy, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pause. Okay, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna run some clips of this asshole, and it just bothers me to see this piece of shit every time I see him. Going to show you some clips, and I'm going to give you some commentary on the backside.
As a journalist, my issue that I have looked at extensively has been mental health. There are mental illnesses in my family that have affected me personally, and it's been something that I've been reporting on. I don't have any comments on what her father would like to do, other than I support him and I support their family immensely. I told them yesterday for the first time, because who would say it to parents of a girlfriend after 9 months, that I loved them? And they told me that they loved me back, and that I was a part of their family forever, and that they were a part of my family forever.
Jeffrey and Chris, you're a part of a remarkable community there, and team and family. Thank you very much. And we're also thinking of Vicki Garner, hoping that she makes a full recovery from her injuries.
Yes.
But again, I hope that you feel the immense love and support. Please be well.
We do, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
This is something that I have been showing people, and am somewhat hesitant to show with the public, but she, I believe, would want our love to be shared, because it was a love that was genuine, and a love that I hope everybody else gets to experience at least once in their life. As young, foolish couples in love do, we celebrate not anniversaries, but month anniversaries. And for our 6-month anniversary, she made me this photo album, which says that all of these pictures are from my phone, and I don't really post on Facebook very much. We were not public on our professional Facebook pages or social media as being in a relationship together. It was something we talked about eventually doing, but we weren't there yet.
I've done more in the 9 months I spent with her than I had done in years prior, whether it was to go hiking, to go to museums, to go to weddings, to go to ball games, to spending time with her family and going out and doing things that she loved, which were to celebrate the arts and to go to Shakespeare plays and to go to musicals. We didn't have much time during the week to be together, so we made sure that our weekends were jam-packed, full of things to do. And that's what gives me this book full of memories. And I've been showing it every single time. I can't let it out of my sight anymore. And, you know, John, I've never had anyone who has wanted to create pictures like this for me. You know, we did things together and documented it. And because we were able to do that, you know, I have this now with me forever. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have any of these pictures. I never would have taken these pictures with any other girl except her. And she brought it out of me. And I hope, and the only thing that I can do to keep her legacy alive every day is that no matter who comes into my life in the future and who is in my life now, celebrate it, enjoy it, document it, and share it. And that's what she taught me, and it is so important to do. It is so important to do. And she brought it out of me.
The first clip, he says he's concentrating on mental illness. He needs to concentrate on his own mental illness. If you ask me, he's got a psychotic case of apathy. And I'm full of shit disease. It's not easy to get through that, and certainly not easy enough to sit there and, like in the last clip, pop a book up with pictures of her who you've just lost in a violent way, and give this half-ass piece of shit, I can't cry for shit look on your face. Hell, my eyes were swollen. When I got home that evening, when the police, when I got there to check on her, the doors had been, I had changed the deadbolts on the doors because she had a first cousin, this is sick as hell, who had been writing her from prison from Alabama, telling her how much he's in love with her and he wants to be with her. And I basically told him that if he shows up, he's going home in a pine box, but just in case when I wasn't there, I was going to change the locks, so I changed the deadbolts. And just had changed them earlier that week, and I just didn't think to grab the key for myself. I mean, you're not expecting that anyway. She was sick, and the last I'd heard from her, it'd been, like I said, right at about 24 hours, which was unusual. So I went over there, and I couldn't get in because of the key. And I banged on her bedroom window, banged on all the windows. And I'd already called EMS. And when the police got there, they finally got permission to go in. And when they came out, I asked the guy if she was okay. I already knew, I think, but I asked if she was okay, and he said, "No, sir, she's not." And from that point on, I remember that. I remember waking up with a blood pressure cuff on my arm and being asked a bunch of questions, which I have no idea what all was asked of me. It took forever for me to convince them that I was okay to drive home. I wanted to get out of there. I did not want to see them bring her out of the house that way. And with it being a fatal drug interaction, which was a Robitussin DM cough syrup mixing with some of her medications that she had taken, because there were no red flags during the autopsy. They had to do a toxicology, which is how they found that. And it takes, if you've ever lost anybody that way, it takes months to get that back. It took till December, and this happened on July 24th. So I had to move in with my mom for about 3 weeks because I was just so distraught. I don't even remember that time period. I certainly don't remember if someone were to come up to me, if I could just grab something and say, oh yes, this is something she gave me. We did month anniversaries and this and that bullshit. With this half-ass grin, I can't cry. I'm trying to cry, but I can't. Shit, my eyes were swollen, man. I couldn't see for weeks. I didn't do anything but lay on the bed for weeks and cry my eyes out. This was the love of my life. And if anybody's ever had a real true love, then you know what I'm talking about. This is not like this, well, it's easy for me to get on here and say this is the love of my life now all of a sudden, because it's going to help me get elected later or what have you, or this hoax, or I don't. But please, folks, if you feel sick, please check with your pharmacy before you take anything. Don't just go get over-the-counter medication. Ask, please ask. Get hand sanitizer. Keep it with you. If you have to cough or sneeze, please cough into your elbow, you know. And if you're going out, if you're prone to get sick, if you have like a low immune system or something, and you're prone to get sick, just wear a mask, because other people are not like what I'm telling you. They'll just sneeze and you walk right through it, and they'll sneeze and then they'll leave that. Make sure you wipe that cart handle, you know, if you're going to Walmart. Or cigarette's gone out, good grief. You know, I don't know if I'm doing anybody any good here. I just know that what I've lost, I would hate to wish, I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I still have my days. Yesterday was one of them. I'm not into the, I get through it okay now. I don't lose my shit anymore. But I certainly was not the day after like he's doing, and certainly not saying I'm going to appreciate somebody in my future or in my life now. I damn sure wasn't thinking about somebody else in my future at the day after. I don't even think about that now. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there is no replacement for her. So, you know, if that happens, that happens, but it's not something I'm looking for. I don't care for it. But that's just one of my personal stories. It's sobering when you lose someone like that. I mean, she was an angel, and she was mine angel. You know, none of us are perfect, but she was the best in this world that I don't know how I got someone so sweet. But if you are sick, if you feel sick, please take precaution about this flu, and please do not use any over-the-counter medications without checking with the pharmacist based on any other medications you may use, or even if you don't take medication, just check, please, and wash your hands. Keep them, try to keep away from your eyes, nose, and mouth. So, okay, I've got a couple of other personal stories I need to tell later. I've got vids coming up about some personal Mandela effects that have happened to me. I think Matt mentioned one of them was with the Wizard of Oz, where I had overlaid Dark Side of the Moon, or The Dark Side of the Moon. Can't believe that got changed. But please, folks, just take my advice. Just ask the pharmacist. Save your family some grief just in case. Alright. Until I talk to you again, have a good one, and please be good to everyone else.